lecturer in civil engineering, Boskarta. Today I am going to teach you a topic from railway and bridge engineering, which is a 6th semester civil engineering subject. So the chapter is points and crossing, and the topics to be covered are, look at the slide now. Turnout, definition of point and crossing, necessity of point and crossing, types of point and types of crossing. So first come to the first topic, which is turnout. So what do you mean by turnout? Okay, so turnout is the combination of point and or switch and crossing. So what is the necessity of point or switch and crossing? Okay, now look at the board. In case of highway or roadway, it is easy to construct a road like this. If you need to move from A point to B point, then you simply construct a roadway like this. And if we move to A to C, then we can provide a horizontal curve and now construct a roadway. And it is in the hand of a driver. He can easily steer the vehicle and choose his path. Okay, accordingly, if he needs to move in straight or right or even left. But in case of railway, it is not as simple as in case of highway, because in train there is no steering and loco pilot can be steer to left or right to choose its own path. Okay, so in case of railway, we choose what? We take the help of point and crossing to take the path of or to choose the path of train. Okay, so now I draw a diagram of turnout. Then we can discuss about point and crossing. Okay, now look at this. Okay, so look at this. This is a crossing assembly. This is a switch assembly or point assembly, and this is a crossing assembly. And these four are what? Stock rail, and there are also some check rail here. Okay, so these all are known as turnout. So it is a right hand turnout. So how can we know it is a right hand turnout or left hand turnout? Now come to the slide. Look at this. What do you mean by turnout? Turnout is the simplest combination of point and crossing which enables one track either on a branch line or a siding to take off another track. Okay, next point is, so the objective of turnout is to provide facilities for safe movement of train in either direction on both the tracks. Okay. Now next one is some important points about what? Point and crossing. So first one is facing direction. So look at the diagram. Then what do you mean by facing direction? By choosing the facing direction, by knowing the facing direction, we can say the turnout is either left hand turnout or right hand turnout. So what is facing direction? Look at this switch assembly. Switch assembly consists of what? A pair of stock rail. This is a stock rail. This is a stock rail. This is a tongue rail. A pair of tongue rail. And this is a stretcher bar which join two tongue rails. Okay, so if we stand near the switch and face towards the crossing, then this is known as facing direction. Okay, similarly trailing direction down, if we stand near the crossing and face towards the switch, then it is known as trailing direction. Got it? So if the facing direction is the facing direction and it is the right hand side of our face, so it is known as right hand turnout. Okay, if there is a left hand turnout, then it is showing in the left hand side. Okay, now look at the slide. Facing direction, if someone stands at the toe of switch and looks towards the crossing, then the direction is called facing direction. Then trailing direction, if someone stands at the crossing and looks towards the switch, then the direction is called trailing direction. Okay, then the pair of stock rail. I told you the crossing assembly consists of what? A pair of stock rail, a pair of tongue rail and what? This is a stretcher bar. It joins the tongue rail and which moves the tongue rail. Okay, either the stretcher bar is 2 numbers or more than 2 numbers. Got it? Now there is some heel block also. Okay, heel block. What is the function of heel block? Okay, the look at this. This is the flange of railway wheel. Okay, wheel. So for the clearance of this flange, okay, for clearance of this flange, we can we provide some heel block so that the flange will move in this clearance. Okay. So look at the slide. A pair of stock rail, main rail of track to which tongue rail are fitted. Next is the pair of tongue rail. This rail lies between two stock rail. Each pair of tongue rail is connected by stretcher bar near the toe of switch. So both tongue rails move together the same distance or gap and maintain the gauge. This gap is known as through of switch. Okay. So this gap, okay, this gap means if it is a stock rail, it is a tongue rail. Okay, and it is also a tongue rail and it is a stock rail, and it is connected through a by a what? Stretcher bar. This will move same distance either to the left or to the right, and this gap or distance is known as through gap. Okay, through of switch. Now come to the next slide. What do you mean by heel block? As you told before, heel block are provided for what? For clearance of the flange flange of wheel. So look at the definition. Inserted between the tongue rail and stock rail used to provide clear gap for the wheel flange. Next is stretcher bar. Stretcher bar used to connect two tongue rails. Next is heel divergence. Now look at this diagram. What do you mean by heel divergence? Look, if this is a stock rail, this is a tongue rail, and here also this is a tongue rail, and also this is a stock rail. So the tongue rail are joined by a stretcher bar. So this length is a stock rail length and this is a tongue rail length. Okay, so it is the what? Running side, or it is a gauge side of stock rail, and it is also a gauge side of what? Tongue rail. What do you mean by gauge side or gauge face? Okay, gauge side, gauge face means what do you mean by gauge length? Gauge length means what? If it is a rail track, then this is the gauge length. Okay, so that means the inner part. Okay, similarly it is a gauge face, it is a gauge face. So the clear distance between two gauge face is known as heel divergence. Okay, and it is a heel divergence, and this is a length of tongue rail. Okay, and this angle is known as running face of stock rail and running face of what? Tongue rail. It gives us what? Switch angle. Okay, or points angle. So points angle can be derived from what? Heel divergence divided by length of what? Length of tongue rail. Okay. Now look at the side. Heel divergence or heel clearance. It is the distance between gauge face of stock rail and gauge face of tongue rail when measured at the heel of the switch. Then is switch angle. It is the angle between running face of stock rail and tongue rail. Okay. Now look at the diagram. This is a heel block. Okay. What is the function of heel block? I told you that the flange of wheel will move on this gap. So to maintain this gap, we will provide a heel block here. Okay. This is a stock rail. Okay. This is a stock rail. Jaha against amar kono tongue rail ta attached. It will attach against or move against a what? Stock rail. Okay. This is a switch, and there is a chair also provided which use some fish bolt and fish plate to connect tongue rail and stock rail. Okay. It is, look at this. This is a length of tongue rail. This is a what? Heel divergence. This is switch angle. Okay. This is stock rail. Got it? Now look at this diagram. It is the total, or this is a turnout. Okay. It is a right hand turnout. It is a facing direction. What do you mean by facing direction? We stand at the what? Point and look towards the crossing. Then we will give our facing direction. So it is facing direction. This is a pair of stock wheel. This is a pair of tongue rail. Okay, and this is a heel block. Okay. Similarly, it is a crossing assembly. Crossing assembly consists of what? A wing rail, a pair of wing rail. This is a nose. Nose. It is nose. It is consist of a point rail. This is a point rail. This is a sply rail. Okay. And this is a check rail. Check rail are provided to what? Derailment न होगा पे हमें check rail provide करता हो. ठीक है जी? Okay. Look at this. This is the flange of wheel. Okay. In rail, this cone portion will move, but the flange portion move in the clearance or in the side. Okay. So that's why we provide here some clearance or heel block. Got it? I'll show you some video at the last. You can what? You can clearly understand how this all will work. Okay. Now come to the next slide. So definition of point and crossing. Look at this definition. Point and crossing are peculiar arrangement used in permanent way to guide the vehicle from directional change. Point कौन होता है? Points are movable section of track allow trains to move from one line to other. Some of our busiest line over 100 trains will pass over just one set of points every day. Points can fail. Okay. Points fail भी है पर points fail में कौन होगा? ट्रेन टा जो पात्र जिबा कथा से पात्र जाई परिवहन नहीं otherwise कौन होगा? Accident होगा. ठीक है जी? Next, crossing. Crossing is a device introduced at the junction where two rails cross to permit the wheel flange or railway vehicle to pass from one track to another track. Okay. So what is the necessary of point and crossing? It provides flexibility of movement by connecting one line to other. It is used to diverge a branch line from the main line or vice versa. It is also used to change the direction of a rail track. Got it? Now the types of switch or points. So types of there are two types. One is stop switch, another one is split switch. So what is the difference between stop switch and what is split switch? In case of stop switch, there is no use of what? Tongue rail. We don't use tongue rail in stop switch. Some portion of stop rail or leading rail will move and we choose the path of train. But in case of what? Split switch, there we use tongue rail, and tongue rail is attached or fitted with a stock rail which is operate with the help of a stretcher bar. Then we can choose the path of train accordingly, either straight, left or right or in other direction. So look at the slide. What is the stop switch? Look at the slide now. In this type of switch, no separate tongue rail is provided and some portion of track is moved from side to side. It is an old form of switch and has got many objectionable features in its performance. This type is no more in use and has been replaced by the split switch, which is now universal adopted. Okay, in nowadays we just use split type of switch. The stop switch are not used nowadays. Okay, so what is the split switch? In this type of switch, a tongue rail is combined with a stop rail. Split switch are classified as on the basis of fixation of heel. Loose heel type, articulated type. Next is fixed heel type, spring type or flexible type. Second rail, undercut switch, overriding switch and straight cut switches. So first come to the loose heel type or articulated type. Okay. So what is loose heel type? In this type, tongue rail are joined to lead rail by means of a fish plate. This is suitable for short length switch. Okay. In this case, what? Tongue rail is jointed to lead rail by means of fish plate and fish board. This is suitable for short length. Next is fixed heel type. This switch is an improvement over loose heel type switch. It has given quite satisfactory result when long tongue rail are used. So fixed heel type switch is suitable with long tongue rail only. Okay. Now come to the undercut switch. Okay. So undercut switch का diagram देखो. When the height of tongue rail and stock rail are same, then what we do? We just cut some portion of flange foot of the rail. Okay, that means this is a rail, this is the flange of rail, it is the top portion, it is the bottom portion. In this case what we do, we just cut some bottom portion or foot portion of flange, and it is, and we attach what, tongue rail with it, which is accommodated easily. Okay, now look at the definition. In case the height of stock rails and tongue rails is same, it is desirable to cut out a portion of flange at the foot of the stock rail, so that the toe of tongue rail is accommodated under the head of stock rail. Such switches are termed as undercut switch. These switches are generally used on narrow gauge. Next is overriding switch. In this type, separate rail section of stock rail and tongue rails are adopted. This is generally used for broad gauge and meter gauge tracks. Next is straight cut switches. In this type of tongue rail, the tongue rail is cut straight in the line with the stock rail and hence termed as a straight cut switch. This type of switch is suitable for bull-headed rail. Got it? Now come to the classification of crossing. Okay, these are classified either acute angle crossing, obtuse angle crossing, square crossing, or on the basis of assembly crossing, spring type or ram crossing. Okay, now look at the diagram. What is the type of crossing, basis of the shape of crossing? So first one is acute angle crossing. So what is acute angle crossing? If left hand turn out, means if there is a railway like this and also another railway track like this, if the angle between this theta is less than 90 degree, then it is known as what? Obtuse angle. And if it is greater than 90 degree, then it is acute angle. Okay, and if two tracks are cross each other 90 degree, makes an angle what? 90 degree, then this is known as what? Square crossing. Got it? Look at the slide now. Look at this definition. This type of crossing is widely used. This crossing is obtained when left hand rail of one track cross the right hand rail of another track or vice versa at an acute angle. It is termed as acute angle crossing. Okay, this is an acute angle crossing. Got it? Similarly, what is diamond crossing? In this crossing is obtained when the left hand rail of one track cross a right hand rail of another track or vice versa at an angle obtuse. At an obtuse angle, that means theta must be greater than 90 degree. Similarly, what do you mean by square crossing? If one track is cross another track with an angle 90 degree, then this is known as square crossing. When two straight tracks cross each other at right angles, they give rise to square crossing. This type of crossing must be avoided on main lines because there is heavy wear due to dynamic load. Okay, so now come to the next classification on the basis of assembly of crossing. This is also divided in two types. One is spring type, another is ram type. Look at the definition. In such a crossing, one wing rail is moved and is held against the V of crossing with the strong helical spring. By doing so, it makes the main track continuous, and this crossing becomes very useful when there is high speed traffic on main tracks and light speed traffic on branch track. Next come to ram crossing, used for complicated yard layout with heavy but slow traffic. Throat to nose clearance is negotiated by special manganese steel block over long distance. Entire wheel load comes on flange. Okay, so the theory part, I will cover all the theory part of what? Points and crossing. So if you understand or go through this theory part, I will show you a video how the point and crossing or the turnout will work. Now see the video.
Switches and crossings play an essential role in connecting the rail network. We use them to guide trains from one track to another and to enable lines to cross paths. wheel that sits on the railhead. The wheel rim, or flange, doesn't normally touch the rail. Flanges are only a last resort to prevent the wheels becoming derailed. The switch can guide the wheel in one of two directions. A crossing creates a gap in the rail with a flange to pass through. This is a switch, also known as a point. It's the moving part of the switch crossing layout. It's made up of two long blades which can move across the guide the train one way or another. This is the switch rail. And this is called the toe. This is called the stop rail. It's a non-moving part of the switch. The two switch blades are fixed to each other by a stretcher bar to ensure that when one is against its stop rail, the other is fully clear and will provide room for the wheel flange to pass through cleanly. This is a crossing wheel. It's the non-moving part of the switch crossing layout. This allows a train to pass in either direction once the switch has been set. This is the nose of the crossing. Either side of the crossing area, wing and check rails are provided to assist the guidance of the wheel sets through the crossing. Crossings can be either fabricated, made up of two machine rails joined together, or they can be cast as a single unit. Modern crossings now cast primarily steel, which is an advanced alloy that gets harder with use. This is an important property as the nose of the crossing can take high impact loads as train wheels pass through.
My name is Oswald, and I'm a graduate engineer working for Flavor Brown. I'm here today to teach you about switches and crossings.
The most simple form of SEC is the turns. This is a left-hand turn. As you can see, it diverges from the main route and leftward direction. This turn one. In normal mode, the left-hand wheel rolls along the switch rail, and there's flange interference for the right wheel continuing on the stop rail. The inside surface of the right flange is kept on course by the check rail. This restrains the wheel set and ensures it is directed on the correct route. Meanwhile, the left wheel transfers contact between the different parts of the crossing. That's where there's a high impact. In reverse, the right wheel rolls over the switch rail and follows its joint. The inside surface of the left wheel is guided by the check, forcing it to follow the stop line. And the right-hand wheel makes the crossing, impacting the load on the crossing nose. There are many different types of switching crossing on the network. They include turnouts, diamonds, crossovers, and slip diamonds. The type we use is determined by a number of factors, the number of lines involved, frequency of use, and ground line speed. Trains travelling at high speeds perform switches and crossings. At low speeds, such as in stations, trains can make tighter turns.